Surprisingly, it's not just money that motivates people to perform at work. This video looks at the top 10 methods of non-financial motivation that are used in the workplace to motivate employees. Let's see which one you think is the best. Job rotation is when changes are made to an employee's role on a regular basis, with a team of employees rotating from one function of the business to the next. The aim of this is to make their job less repetitive and increase motivation as employees are continually developing new skills, knowledge and experience. However, job rotation also has the potential to demotivate employees if it is not managed correctly. Especially since employees may always feel like they are starting again when they're rotated onto a new department or role, which may lead to them being less productive alongside a decrease in quality due to the employees being unskilled initially. However, over the long term, job rotation has a vast array of potential added benefits to the business, such as the team of employees becoming multi-skilled and flexible across a wide range of roles, which can then lead to increased quality standards and levels of productivity. Job enrichment is when employees are given additional responsibilities and authority within their role. The logic behind this approach is that employees will feel more motivated as they have been given more additional responsibility and authority as a reward for their performance, which in turn can increase productivity and the employee's loyalty to the business over the long term, therefore decreasing the staff turnover. However, it is important to be aware that job enrichment can have the exact opposite effect if applied to the wrong employee. This is because they may not want the extra responsibility or find it overwhelming, which can then lead to the employee becoming demotivated, therefore productivity decreases and ultimately they may leave the business. Empowerment is centred around providing employees with more autonomy and freedom in the workplace, and it can be a very effective motivator for employees. It is typically achieved through providing employees with greater responsibility and the authorisation to make certain decisions. Empowerment effectively provides employees with more control over their working lives, which increases their sense of worth and leads them to feeling valued. This can then lead employees to be more productive, focused and loyal to the business. Usually, empowerment is not used as a tool to motivate new or unskilled employees initially, and generally happens over time. This is as the employees' experience and knowledge of the business and its processes develop. So does the level of empowerment they are given. However, when recruiting, empowerment is sometimes utilised to attract top talent with the promise of autonomy, freedom and key responsibilities in their role if they join the business. Consultation is when employees are involved in the decision-making process and are urged to provide their opinion on a wide range of business matters. This typically leads to employees feeling more valued by the business and more open to change when it happens, as they feel part of the process, which naturally increases the motivation levels of employees and their commitment to the business. However, if over time employees start to doubt the consultation process, for example, they keep providing their views when asked, but they never see their viewpoints put into action, this can have the reverse effect, leading to employees disengaging in the consultation process, and their motivation is then likely to decrease. Job enlargement is a very simple method which managers use to motivate employees, by delegating more complex tasks to them, often above or beyond their usual role. It's seen as a reward for their performance and recognition of their skills, knowledge and experience. This is typically used when employees appear bored and unchallenged in their roles or not stimulated by the task in hand. The logic behind this is that the employee will be stimulated and challenged by the increase in their workload and the range of tasks, which then increases their levels of productivity and job satisfaction. However, job enlargement is typically seen as a short-term solution to increasing employees' motivation, as over time employees will naturally start to be delegated similar tasks and the challenge and stimulation will decrease. Also, employees may react negatively to job enlargement as they don't want the extra work and can find the workload overwhelming, which then leads to the employee being demotivated, their productivity decreasing, and ultimately they may leave the business. Placing employees into teams can be an effective method of motivating employees. By setting the team specific targets, challenges and even the chance to compete against co-workers in opposing teams can really stimulate and engage employees on the task. It is important that these teams of employees have some level of control over the way they work by being given autonomy and authority to achieve the targets set, solve problems and make decisions along the way. The logic behind team working as a non-financial motivator links closely to Elton Mayo and the Hawthorne experiment, which found that employees' levels of motivation increase when they feel part of a community and work alongside others who are striving to achieve shared goals rather than working in isolation. This not only increases the motivation levels of employees, but also the productivity, quality and job satisfaction of all of the team members. However, it is crucial that these teams are managed effectively, as there is an increased risk of conflict due to factors such as members battling one another for dominant roles within the team and placing blame on each other should they fail to achieve their targets. If conflict is not managed effectively, it can have a detrimental impact on motivation and the additional factors mentioned above of all team members, not just the ones who are directly involved in the conflict. Flexible working is becoming more of a prominent factor and expectation from employees as the years pass by, but it can have great benefits for a business in terms of the increased levels of motivation, commitment and productivity they receive from their employees in return. Flexible working is common in situations such as the business employing working parents who they may allow to work around their child's school's timetable, or part-time students being able to work around their studies and given time off around their exams. Typically, employees feel very valued and appreciated when working for a business which offers flexible working. Also, flexible working is not just limited to shift patterns, but can also be linked to allowing employees to choose where they work, such as from their home rather than the office. A major drawback for businesses is that they can't manage employees or monitor their performances closely, especially when they work from home, which has led to some businesses going to extreme lengths to monitor and micromanage employees who work from home. This can unfortunately break the relationship and trust between the business and employee, which naturally decreases the employee's motivation and job satisfaction. Therefore, for flexible working to be an effective method of motivation, it is crucial that there are high levels of trust between the business and the employee. Training is typically provided to employees either on the job or off the job. It can be a very effective method of motivating employees as they feel valued because the business is investing time and money into their personal development. This also has a variety of benefits to the business as the employee's skills, knowledge and qualifications are improving, which then leads to a higher quality of work, increased productivity due to the fact that the employee is more competent and feels more confident in their role. However, there is a risk that employees may become too qualified and skilled for their role, which can lead to them becoming demotivated over time due to the lack of challenge, which can then lead to the employee leaving for a promotion elsewhere, such as a competitor, on the back of the business's investment in their development. The style of manager that the employee works for will usually have a huge influence on their levels of motivation in the workplace. However, there are lots of management styles to choose from, and which style would be effective is all dependent on the situation and the employees. If we use the examples of autocratic and democratic approaches to management, we can see where these two common styles will be most effective for motivating employees. The autocratic style is very direct, with the manager making all the key decisions, telling employees what to do and expecting them to comply. This style tends to be effective on new and unskilled employees who need clear direction and guidance. However, whilst this can be effective for productivity in the short term, it can be very detrimental to the employee's motivation over the long term due to employees not feeling valued or that they have any influence in the business. Whereas the democratic style encourages employees to get involved in the decision-making process by asking for their opinion and taking their viewpoints on board before making the actual decision. This style tends to be effective on experienced and skilled workers and can have a positive impact on employee motivation over the long term, as they tend to feel more valued and involved, which in turn increases their commitment and levels of productivity. Providing employees with additional benefits such as free food, access to an on-site gym and recreational areas during downtime can have a real positive impact on their levels of motivation. When provided with perks such as the ones mentioned above, employees often feel valued by the business, which usually decreases workplace stress and increases employee morale. Ultimately, this can result in a happier workforce which is more productive and loyal to the business. However, offering employee benefits and perks is not always feasible for many businesses, and the types of employee benefits and perks that a business can offer typically depend on the size of the business itself, due to the cost and logistical implications of implementing them. So there you have it, that's our top 10 non-financial methods of motivating employees. Let us know which one you think is the best and the most effective, just comment below. And if you're not already, remember to get subscribed for our latest business studies content and give the video a like if you found it useful. All the best, see you soon.